Christian Van Hook getting ready to jump center for the Railers, going up against Taylor Alexander, a 6'5" senior. Opening tip is controlled by the Railers. Max Cook into the front court. Cook working around to Gesner.
Gesner's being guarded by Fink. That's a matchup Gesner has to take advantage of.
Gesner,
they're going to switch. They're switching everywhere.
Christian rises up for a three from the left side and hits.
Been shooting the ball real well to start the season already, and a good start for the Railers. Find Christian Van Hook from three, and we knock it down. Interesting thing, guys, we haven't seen the zone yet this year. All man-to-man so far.
And Gesner coming out is going to make the big kid play the floor, and that should help the Railers on the offensive rebounding end.
But the Railers lose Luke Vaughn underneath, and he gets a nice easy one off the glass for two. Centennial on the board. Railers lead is 3-2.
Max starting to look comfortable at the point, Jeff. That's important.
Cook. By Belsick. Will drives in, little 17-footer. That's up and good.
Now, guys, here in the first couple games of the season, I don't know if it's been a point of emphasis for Coach, but we've really worked on our two dribble pull-ups or a couple dribble pull-up shots.
Yep. Turnover by Centennial. Lob from Gesner down to Christian Van Hook. Gets it back out to Pipe Belsick. Nice ball fake. Max, top of the key. Kicks back over to Christian. Christian's going to drive against Vaughn. Kicks it over to Gesner. Nice save. Keeping it in play. Gesner's pull-up jumper. That's up and good.
Nice. Gesner took what he had. If he kept coming, he was going to get it blocked. So he pulls up and hits the 10-footer on the baseline.
7-2. Nice early start for the Railers. Ball tipped away by Gesner. Loose on the floor. People fighting for it. Held ball. It'll go back to Centennial. But again, we talked about that, Josh. The loose balls. You got to be down there.
And Gesner's the man to do it. He's been down on all of them this year that he's had the opportunity to be around, and really provides that start. Another great two dribble pull-up with his left hand on the last possession for the Railers, and we talked about it. We've got to start out hot, and the Railers are hot.
So Centennial subs out, gets a lot smaller. Van Hook clearly has a quickness edge on anybody from Centennial who tries to guard him.
Great. They try and steal. Van Hook comes around from the backside and takes it away. So another turnover by Centennial. Cook quickly into the front court. By Belsick on the left side. Between the circles, Gesner thought about the three, passes back to Olsen. Olsen throws over to Cook. Max, back to Gesner. Christian, top of the key. Three on the way. Off no good. Rebound high for that is Terrence Napper for Centennial.
Centennial 3 turnovers in 4 possessions.
Ball loose. Centennial and Christian's going to be whistled for his first foul. And Josh, that's one thing that the first 2 games, it's been a key, and so far he's done very well of staying out of early foul trouble.
Yeah, we definitely cannot have him on the bench for any long period of time due to foul trouble. And it looks like Champaign Centennial is going to take a 30-second timeout. But yeah, Christian's done a good job of staying out of foul trouble, and a great job because he tries to go up and block a lot of shots, but using his body, working his body around the offensive player to get that long wingspan, and of course he's got great leaping ability.
Yeah, no doubt, Jeff, and he's obviously the key. As Van Hook goes, the Railers are going to go this year, I think.
And Jeff, I think you made up a good point that Lavin has seen this 1-2-2 for however many years, 10 years, 20 years, but I don't know that this group from Centennial has seen the 1-2-2. This is a new group. I don't recall any of these guys from last year, and it's okay if your coach knows it, but the players got to remember, got to know a little bit about it too. As you said, Tom, three straight turnovers on 3 possessions.
Yeah, it's easy for the coach to say, here's what you need to do, but you need the people to go out and do it.
Well, the Railers are so small out front, they've got to be pests when the ball's on the floor.
Belsick almost a steal.
Got to make Centennial's big kids think about not putting it on the floor.
Van Hook and Garth battling down low. Now a double team comes. Centennial does a nice job getting out of it. 5.5 to go here in the first quarter. Railers up 7-2.
Railers real quick there, Jeff. The ball shifted, and the Railers shifted the defense faster.
Jumper up and good. That is Austin Judy for 3.
Yeah, the first pressure here, pressed by Champaign. So let's see if the Railers had a little trouble with that against Cahokia.
Well, Gesner stayed back to help Max. Boy, a lot of hand fighting with Gesner and Judy.
Lob play from Cook to Christian for the dunk.
Nice.
We're about almost 8 for 8, I think, on that play, scoring this year.
Wow, great defense. He stepped in bounds. He gave him a timeout.
Boy, we had a clear shot of that because he was looking to throw it in bounds, and he slid his foot just a little forward as he was leaning. You could clearly see on the baseline he stepped on it. But you know, here's the thing. You're not even halfway through the first quarter, and you've lost 40% of your timeouts for the game.
Right. And the Railers have done this to many teams over the years. They just simply befuddle them, Jeff. The Railers have so many offensive sets. You just about when you think you know what you're going to get, then they run that baseline lob. This team is looking for weapons, and 5 weapons would be real nice.
Yeah, and then that's the thing. You know, the guys kind of get comfortable being Champaign, being any team of just letting that we're always going to let you get it in and then trap you. But every once in a while, that point guard can go man that guy and deny him. And then you saw right there where they got to burn a timeout because they can't get the ball on.
Yep. Good D on a part of the Railers. And this team's ultimate final record and how far they go in states is going to be the way they play defense. They're not going to outscore a lot of people. They're going to have to play really relentless defense.
So after the timeout,
I was thinking of challenging the 06-07 team in terms of points allowed per game. I think they were 38-something.
Edward Bowlby in, the 6'2 sophomore, replaces Podbelsic. Centennial in the front court.
Ooh, he's right on the line.
Centennial against this Railer pressure. Swinging around the outside.
Nice.
Away by Cook. Almost saved it in bounds.
Great hustle by Max. Got his hand in the passing lane.
And another good thing by Max, you saw where he starts on the back on the defense, just showing his versatility. Now he can move to a wing. A guy can play about 5 positions on the court.
4.5 to go in the first quarter. Lincoln on top, 9-5. Skip it across down to Judy. Garth throws it up and count the shot, and he's going to the line.
I was waiting for you to say they punched it into Judy, Jeff.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Yes, you would.
Fouls on Jake Olson. That's Jake's first, second on the team. Jansen Garth, a 6'3 senior. Free throw is up and good. Centennial back within 1. Now they've got some pressure going.
Railers doing a good job of getting it in, and then as the double comes, getting rid of the ball, not allowing themselves to be trapped.
Cook over to Gesner. And then Gesner thought Jake was going to zig, and he zagged, and so it's a turnover. And Centennial inbound in their front court with a chance to take the lead.
First Railer turnover of the night.
Centennial just in front of the Railer student section. Napper. Over to McCray. Playing catch between the circles. Down in the corner. Alexander, ball tipped away. Back on top to Napper. Napper's going to drive the left side of the lane. Little floater off the
block.
too hard.
Good call.
The blocking foul is going to be called on Edward Bowlby. But we've seen, Josh, throughout the first couple of games of the season, the Railers have no fear about stepping in the way. The other night, 3 charges taken.
Yeah, good job by Edward. He just had to get over there about a step quicker, and it would have been okay. It was definitely a block, but yeah, as you say, we cover up and try at least attempt to take a couple charges, because in the years past we wouldn't have even attempted to take a charge.
Nope. And you watch this team, Jeff, Josh, you know the function of this defense. You got to be moving while the ball's in the air. These guys are good. They take off and they get in position to defend the receiver just as the receiver gets the pass.
The 5'11 senior Napper misses them both, so Cook brings it into the front court. Bowlby on the right wing. Top of the key to Van Hook. Jake pops out. He's going to fire a 3 from the right side. That's up and good.
2 of 3 tonight for the Railers on threes.
Yeah, Jake hit a couple big ones on Wednesday night to spark the Railers and really get that lead. And then again now the senior point guard hits a big one.
So Railer guards are relentless on defense, Jeff. They're just not giving up.
McCray over to Napper. 3:15 to go. Napper down in the corner. Jumper on the way from Alexander. It's going to go off the top of the backboard. Stays in bounds. Rebound comes down to Alexander, who lays it off the glass and in.
Yeah, an easy rebound really for the Railers there, but we didn't have anybody boxing out.
Podbelsic and Tommy Harris at the scorer's bench. They'll check in. Nice backdoor cut by Gesner. Look for Cook. Gesner lays it up and in.
Railers moving the ball. Nobody's selfish, Jeff. Just looking for the open shot and knocking it down.
14-10. McCray down the lane. Little floater from 5 is up and good. Back and forth here in the first quarter. Railers with a 2-point advantage, 14-12. Bowlby in the corner, now on top to Van Hook to Gesner. Railers working around the perimeter. Olsen on the bounce to Bowlby. Both teams coming in 1-1. They bounce it down to Christian.
Good ball movement, good spacing, Jeff. Railers content to make this a short game.
Max over to Gesner, just in front of Coach Lavin on the Centennial bench. Olsen to Cook. Cook's going to drive in, kicks it back out to Bowlby. Gesner now to Van Hook, under 2 minutes. Nice. Christian for 3, left it short, but he's going to get his own rebound. Nice hustle by the senior.
Great screen in there by Bowlby to free up Christian.
Christian back to Olsen. Olsen clears some space with a fake. Now to Max on the baseline. Max will bring the dribble back out to Bowlby.
Gesner. And the Railers reach that.
Christian turns, has it knocked away, and they're going to stay on the shot or no?
I think so.
Rail's going to go against Napper. And that'll send Christian to the line.
Yeah, good job by the Railers.
Great sequence,
yeah, on the motion. And I don't know if it was, we had great ball movement, but I think Centennial was doing a pretty good job of defending us, too.
They were, but the Railers last year would have fired off an ill-advised shot just because they didn't want to keep running the offense. These guys seem willing to run it for the rest of the half.
And if any time we can get this shot on the free throw line, we've got a really good free throw shooting team, I think, this year. If you can put Van Hook and Cook out there with our guards that can shoot, this could be a good free throw shooting team if we can get there enough.
Sure could.
Christian makes them both. He has 7. Matt Hayes will check in, give Christian a little bit of a rest.
This is virtually last year's JV team, and this team didn't lose too many basketball games, as I remember.
Minute and a half to go. Lincoln on top, 16-12. Centennial again having a little bit of difficulty with this Railer pressure getting into the front court. They do. Now back over to Wells. Minute 15. Alexander, nice job by Harris stepping in front of the pass. And they're going to say he stepped on the baseline, but again, nice job by Harris sliding down and taking the ball away.
Yeah, yep. Good job by the Railers, as you said, Tom, moving while the ball's in the air, and that's what got the steal. We just
lob play, nice easy shot up and in from Garth. Nobody found him.
Pod's not going to be able to do much against somebody who's 6'8". Kid did a good job, kept the ball up, wouldn't let him Pod's anywhere near it.
16-14, a minute to go.
Well, let's see. They did a good job the other night running the clock and getting a bucket.
Max over to Bowlby. Harris. Now to Cook. And Hayes
might have walked.
Hayes down the lane over to Max. Max fakes, steps in, jumper on the way. Didn't get the bounce. Rebound to Centennial. So the Chargers a chance to tie. If they hit a long one, they can take the lead at the end of the first. Walls. Over to Jeffrey Lavin.
Looks a little like a coach, doesn't he?
Walls down to 18 seconds. Defended well by Cook. Down low again to Garth. Podbelsic is down there and forces the held ball.
Good job.
So he wasn't able to do anything against him on the inbound, but when you're 6'8" and you bring it down to your knees, people like Podbelsic can cause a lot of trouble for you.
And Hayes did a great job there. He didn't give an inch. He put himself in a low block, wouldn't let the big kid run him over.
So Van Hook back in for this final 13 seconds.
Let's get a bucket here, Railers.
Cook. Left side. Down to 5. Lob play. They smelled that one out. Centennial comes down with it. Ball's loose. Gesner fires it up. It's on the way. Didn't go down. It would have counted, but it banked off the rim. Our score at the end of 1. Railers on top. It is Lincoln 16, Centennial 14. Back with the second quarter in a moment. You're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball.